Alright, so at the beginning of October 2020, something broke out on the streets of Lagos in places like Alausa, Lekki, and that quickly spread to other parts of Nigeria, including the Federal Capital Territory. That thing that broke out was and is a war. And if you don't understand how wars work, you are not going to approach it correctly and you're going to find yourself snatching defeat even from the jaws of victory. Wars are basically won by two things. Number one is strategy, and the second is alliance, not numbers. If it were a game of numbers, millions and millions of Nigerians will not be in this kind of poverty because of a handful of people siphoning all of the finances. In this video, I'm going to break down four things that the Nigerian youth need to start doing right now if they are going to win this war. 2023 may seem far away if you're waiting for that time to come so that at the wave of a magic wand, things will get fixed. But it's not so far away if you're looking to put up a system that is going to replace this one. And that brings me to my first point, structure. Now, I know that at the beginning of these protests, we basked in the euphoria of leaderlessness, and to some extent, it was a strength because there was nobody to bribe in order to stop the uprising. But at some point, if you are going to get things done, there needs to be a structure on ground, and that time has come when leaders need to be designated or appointed over this move if it's going to have any kind of headway. All right, people are not going to take you seriously if there is nobody to be out there representing your interests. People who are trustworthy, people who we know can represent our interests, need to step up and fill that particular void. They don't need to shy away from it in the name of modesty and decency. Number two, grassroots education. The events of the last couple of weeks have brought to everybody's awareness that there are two classes of youth out there: the people who understand what's going on and what needs to be done, and then the people who are still being very easily used by the government. All right, if we are going to pool resources together and have everybody's hand on deck to be able to achieve what needs to be done, then everybody needs to be educated. And I'm not just talking about people in the cities, I'm talking about rural areas because that's where the votes actually come from. The villages, not the cities. All right, we need to start working with people, and that's why the structure is important. We need to start working with people who enter into the rural areas, the villages. We need to work with organizations like the NYSC, not officially because that's also compromised, right? But there are organizations within the NYSC that we can work with and have people who are enlightened and educated go into these villages and actually sensitize people on what we are trying to do. And that brings me to point number three, which is funding. For a very, very long time, the Nigerian government has weaponized poverty such that every time the elections seem to be around the corner, they just come out and share biscuits and share indomie and share rice, and then people just troop to the polls and vote for them. Now, there are people in this world that no matter the kind of sense you're making with that education you're trying to educate them on, the gains of proper governance and why they need to remove these guys, that if you are not talking money, if you're not talking about food, you're not making sense to them. They need to eat before they can hear that plenty grammar that you are speaking. Bottom line is, this particular move, campaigning and winning an election, requires money. If you're going to topple any system who is already in place, you need to be funded. Do you understand? And that brings me to my fourth and my final point: alliances. We are not strong enough on our own. We are stronger together. There are heads of businesses, people who are brilliant minds and in academics, people who know about how the economy works, that are not necessarily of our age grade, of our generation, that are not also involved in Nigeria as it is right now because of other people who are right there in the government trying to do everything for their own selfish gains. There are people who have the money, people who have the brains that we can bring in, and these guys have a genuine desire to see things work in the country. All right, alliances with people like this, their influence alone will cause other people who want to support but are looking for credibility to actually pull their resources towards what we're trying to do. And if we can get these four things in place, I believe very strongly that we stand not just a chance, but a very huge chance at actually making the difference that we want to see in our nation. If you enjoyed this video and you found any kind of sense in it, please, I beg you, push it out, share it. Even if you're going to take it from my channel and put it on your own channel, you have my permission. Just share this and share it again until it gets to everybody who can actually make a change, which is you. And you and me. Let's just broadcast this, get it out there, and together we can be the change that we want to see in our nation. Until next time, God bless you guys.